Let's talk Earth science. This is Norris Teaches Science with me, Mr. Norris, another Earth science video. This one is talking about a climate information, and I present to you climate change. So this video goal is I can explain local and worldwide climate change. Now, what is climate change? Yes, I got a picture of Bill Nye. I love Bill Nye. He's a great guy. It's a change in global or regional climate patterns. Change is a change apparent. There's a change apparent from the mid to late 20th century onward that humans have started to cause some of it, but there's also natural causes either. So climate change can be naturally caused or human induced. Natural processes that change climate. One, volcanic eruptions. Another is ocean circulation. Another is solar activities, and of course, Earth's motions. So volcanic eruptions, how can it change climate? Well, when the volcano erupts, it releases a lot of things into the atmosphere. If you don't remember what happens during volcanic eruption, I made a whole video on volcanic eruptions. May want to go check that out. But ash, dust, and aerosols are released into the atmosphere during a volcanic eruption. What it does, it blocks solar radiation from reaching the surface. It reflects it back to space. So it causes Earth's lower atmosphere to cool. They say that when Krakatoa last exploded and erupted, that there was a very cold summer that year. Ocean circulation can happen. When you talk about this, you talk about something called El Nino. Um, and what happens here is part of the eastern tropical Pacific Ocean becomes warmer than usual, usually off the coast of Peru. And it's caused by weakened trade winds. When this happens, arid places or like desert places receive a large amount of rain. It influences the upwelling of the because of the warm water. So the upwelling brings colder water and it brings all the nutrients up and fish can eat. But what happens is there's no more upwelling because the warm water's there. And so the fish don't come and eat, and people will struggle in the fishing industry during this. Now, I live in North Carolina, so when we have El Nino, we usually have wet summers. That's how El Nino will affect our weather, even though we're not even close to it. La Nina is the reverse of El Nino. It's part of the is when the eastern tropical Pacific Ocean has colder than average temperatures. During hurricane season, when there's a La Nina effect, it can have hurricanes that cause greater damage. And in North Carolina, we usually have a drier summer. Solar activity, sunspots have corresponded with warming periods in Europe and North America, and they've noticed that these sunspots are on a 11-year cycle. Now, human impact on climate change. This means how humans have induced some climate change. It's called the greenhouse effect, which is a natural occurring thing. It doesn't naturally occur. It's the natural warming of both Earth's lower atmosphere and surface. It does make life possible. The major gases involved in the greenhouse effect is water vapor and carbon dioxide. Now, the issue here is that humans have added more greenhouse gases to the atmosphere, trapping more of the heat into the Earth. Now, humans are causing climate change. There's a couple factors that are causing this. Burning of our fossil fuels have released some of those greenhouse gases. Using aerosols have released those greenhouse gases. Pollution from the burning of the fossil fuels and other types are causing some more greenhouse gases. Deforestation, because trees usually take CO2 out of the atmosphere, and since we're getting rid of most of the trees, there's not enough plants out there to take all the CO2 out that needs to be. Of course, urbanization, which is causing us to use the fossil fuels, use the aerosols, create the pollution, do the deforestation. It all is related. Now, effect of human climate change, we're seeing an average temperature increased. Not by like 10 degrees. I think right now it's been 1 or 2 degrees, which is still a lot. But if you get up to like 3, 4, 5 degrees, you're going to see long term effects. We rise it up by 7 to 10, 11 degrees, there could be major catastrophic events that happen. We're also seeing glaciers melting at a faster rate than normal. We're seeing melting sea ice, which is doing it at a faster rate than normal, which is also melting of Antarctica. We've seen Antarctica shrink in its amount of ice. We're seeing some rising sea levels. There are some islands out there that are already becoming underwater because of the rising sea levels. We're seeing hotter years on record. We're seeing stronger hurricanes and storms, and we're seeing loss of habitats and species. Over here is polar bears. Polar bears live on in the Arctic on sea ice, and if the sea ice is melting and going away, it's going to lose its habitat. We are now seeing polar bears that are drowning, and they're a marine animal. They're supposed to be able to swim very well, but they're having to swim so far that they're drowning. Even some of the moms are going to have to eat their pups because they're so starved for food. But this is a little bit about climate change. There's much more out there. I would go research it yourself, learn a bit about it some more. But I hope you learned a little bit today. And this is Mr. Norris, and I am signing out of this video.